Welcome to the Chatline. I'm Emily.
I'm Missy.
And whether we're spilling the tea about the latest celebrity drama or diving into our own crazy lives, this is your place to laugh, relate, and stay in the know. So grab a seat and tune into our Chatline.
I'm excited for today. How about you?
I'm excited about today. I found out a couple of different things that I think are going to be super interesting for
Okay.
some. Okay, so as I was literally getting this ready to call you and get on here,
Uh-huh.
Justin Bieber and his wife Hailey Bieber, which you know how I feel about.
Yeah.
I think she's, for those of you who don't know, I think she's kind of a mean girl, but he
No,
unfollowed
I
her.
didn't know that. Sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead. Go
really?
ahead.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know why. Okay.
Okay. I think Hailey Bieber is kind of a mean girl. And a lot of people have the Hailey Bieber versus Selena drama or whatever, where Hailey copies a lot of what Selena does, even though Selena's not really interested in Justin anymore, kind of moved on, is engaged now. But
Okay.
Hailey is same tattoos, same branding for Rhode versus Rare Beauty. It's crazy stuff. When you get
Hmm.
into it, copied her cooking show. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. But Justin Bieber just unfollowed her on Instagram.
Followed his wife?
Yes, yes.
How old is their baby?
Well, I think less than a year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of off subject, but on subject. That's a really hard time in a marriage.
yeah.
Not to mention all the celebrity and all the rumors with, do you think he married her for the green card? Do you remember all that drama? What is your
Yes,
take on that?
I remember people talking about that, and they were oh, this time they're gonna break up because it's the time that the green card expires or whatever. I
Yeah,
really don't know. I know that
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was the one who broke up with Selena, but it was immediately after was with Hailey. So I think that
Mm,
timeline was suspicious anyway, but I don't know. I don't know so much as it was a green card move, as more of it was a political stay in the spotlight kind of move for Hailey.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't
I
know.
looked at
All I know about Justin Bieber, and this is the honest truth, is just the sweet songs he's singing to his baby, and I'm all about that. I'm like,
yeah,
"What words? That's so sweet." And then because I'm in the algorithm, I'll see this really awful thing that he's done, and I'm like, "No, I'm just gonna scroll past that," and just I don't wanna know. So you will have to keep me updated on all of that. That is a statement to unfollow your wife.
yeah. Well, to unfollow
Yeah.
anybody is and when you're in a celebrity status, that's a
Mhm, mhm,
major, whatever. But to unfollow your wife,
mhm,
and he posted on his story that someone
mhm.
got onto his Instagram account, hacked his account and did that.
Y'all, I mean, the housewives say that kind of stuff all the time, and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, watch it happen to our Instagram, the chat line, "Oh, you don't think we hack? Well, here you go."
Right?
I'm not saying it's impossible, but what people have said, and this makes a lot of sense to me, is that is a hacker really going to go on and just unfollow one person or
Yeah.
say a mean comment about one person? But maybe they are. If they are a writer for a tabloid or wanting to have the next viral TikTok, maybe they do. I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's not a bad point, actually. Maybe they've gotten paid to stir up the drama.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know.
I mean, allegedly, right? We
Right.
have no idea.
This isn't the first time something weird has gone on between them on Instagram. She will accidentally be logged into Justin's account and post on her own stuff because she's talked about and people have tracked this back from different accounts will say she commented on this a bunch of red hearts, and then the next comment underneath it was LOL, didn't realize I'm in Justin's account. And it was
Mm.
but it's from Justin Bieber's account, but it was her saying this is Hailey Bieber, I'm on Justin's account, whatever. And then those
Why
same
would you
comments.
admit to that? You know
Well,
what
but
I mean? Like, that's weird.
I think it was because it was on, like, one of her friends' accounts or something like that. And then yeah, so it looked weird, like, commenting hearts or commenting, like, "You look so pretty," whatever, which could go one of 2 ways. Maybe it was actually Justin pretending to be Haley or whatever, but I think it's weird because
And
then she'll, like, turn around and comment, like, on her own stuff, the same comment that she commented on that friend's. If that ma I know that
uh,
sounds so crazy right now, like the web is out, but she would, like,
yeah.
say she would say the comment on her own, and so people, like, started, like, paying attention, and they were like, "Oh, Justin's not actually commenting on his wife's Instagram. It's Haley under Justin's account doing it."
Hmm.
Yeah.
We don't know what to think about all of that. Like, for real? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. It's I've seen, like, and of course, like, you're in the public eye, so
Yeah.
every little moment, every little, like, look or glance is gonna be scrutinized, but at the same time, you're look miserable with your husband or your wife every time you're together.
Yeah. I don't know enough to comment anymore. You know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah.
I only see the lowlights of their life. I almost said highlights, but I only see the lowlights.
Yeah,
So, I
because
don't
that's
know.
what gets popular and that's what trends is the negative side of it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, that's
So
that's what I
it
just
just
found out.
yeah, that is breaking news for sure. Like, I don't yeah. So does he have any kind of tour dates coming up? Like, is there any reason why they would want to be stirring up the drama right now?
That's such a great point because I think they actually have announced like he's doing like a world tour, like what Taylor Swift did with the Eras tour. I think he's getting ready to do that. That makes so much sense.
This makes you go, right?
Wow. You're a marketing genius.
Yeah, I wish.
You said actually, now we're going to have a big controversy on the chat line. Emily and
Right.
Missy are no longer speaking to each other.
Yeah. He's like, "What?" And everybody be like, "Who are they and why do we care?" And be like, "It's a big deal."
That's a huge deal.
Yeah. No. I would be so sad. I would be crying on here if that was true. I'd be
It
like,
would be horrible. It'd be
yeah.
horrible.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is crazy. Like I said, I do not know enough about Justin Bieber. I do know that he is one of the most talented people. Like he gets all of this bad press, whatever you want to call it, for who he is behind the scenes. And again, we only see the lowlights because
Right.
that's what, happens. But when I genuinely hear him sing, especially when he's harmonizing with, I think his name is Chandler Moore. It's actually a
Mm.
Christian artist, and he was on there harmonizing, and I was like, I mean, I've got chills, literally just got chills again thinking about it. One of the
Wow.
most powerful moments, and I was like, that's Justin Bieber? Like, that's who he
Yeah.
is? I'm like, he legitimately needs the accolades for being like this incredible musician.
Yeah.
So I do respect his talent greatly. It's going to be interesting in a very sad way if we ever truly get to hear about what happened to him
Yeah.
allegedly again, with all of
Yeah.
the P Diddy and the Usher and all of that,
Yeah.
who really knows unless Justin himself comes out and says something about it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all
Have you a lot of people, and this again is like speculation, but have you
mm,
seen his video or heard his song Yummy?
remind me. I'm 99% sure I have, but I'm terrible with titles.
Yeah, so if you just listen to it, it's very like poppy, very like upbeat, very like you got that yummy, yummy, yum. Like it's just like like repeated over and over,
Mhm.
like a blanket, like just like if you were just like listening to it, you'd think it's about like a husband and a wife and like a
Okay.
sweet, like, like a fun song. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
But
but you don't
his
think so?
well, no, his music video with it is so intense and like
Mm,
things come out like about the behind the scenes of like how emotional he was doing it and how like he was just like really
mm.
struggling like head in his hands like just like can't take it anymore kind of thing and like it's a lot of people are saying that it, like, showcased and I wish I could remember specific scenes from it, but it's like
Mhm.
it's got, like, children on a like, dancing on a table, and it insinuates that, like, people are, like, cannibalistically, like, eating them kind of thing, and then, like, the kids are, like, dead and gone. Yeah.
That's a statement.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a intense video when you watch it because it seems very fun and like, "Oh, look at all this candy, look at all this cake," and then it's, like, replaced with, like, kids, and then it's, like, at the end, it's a plate and at the end, like, everyone's, like, full and it's a bunch of older white men, you know what I mean, who are, like, full, like, they've eaten their fill kinda thing, and then it's a picture of a young Justin Bieber, like, when he was, like, 6 or 7 on the plate. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kinda all you need to know,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, yeah.
Because even if it was not physical, like, I feel like that is definitely a statement of how used he felt
Yes.
and feels. Like, and as artists, I know a lot of them talk about how it's therapy for them to write songs and to work through those emotions. So, wow. We
Yeah.
wish you the best, Justin Bieber. We
Yes.
wish you the best.
Right, I hope he's in love and his marriage is great. I want that for him,
Right.
but also want Haley to be a nice person.
Wow. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a whole podcast on you catching me up with why you think she's a mean girl and all of
Yeah.
that.
Haley and Selena, we could talk for ages about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did you watch any part of the inauguration yesterday?
This is so crazy, but I actually did not.
Really?
So, right. I don't even really know why. I was kind of honest. Well, I do know why. I was honestly in here making my own TikTok video and I got in this world of, just figuring all of that out. And next thing I knew, it was 4 o'clock and I was like, oops. Um, but what I've seen highlights from TikTok and Instagram Reel, and my husband, kept sending me things about it. But yeah, did
Yeah.
you watch it?
Just part of it. And then Wesley got annoyed. He's like, we're just turning it off, which is, oh,
That's
not why.
hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to, like, be annoyed with it, but I think it was because we were at the part where it was after the actual inauguration or, like, the
Hmm.
swearing in, and then it was,
Right.
like, the ceremony part, and then they
Hmm.
were, like, playing Yankee Doodle in British, like, clothing, it looked like, and Wesley was like, "No, no, no, he said, "I can't."
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to have taken that either. I normally watch the swearing in. Like, yeah, I normally do that, and for some reason just missed it.
So, okay, 2 things about it. One
Hmm.
is more like commenting on, like, attire and what people wore, and then the other
Yes.
is something that I saw on TikTok that I don't know if it's true or not because I didn't see the actual swearing in that I thought was interesting. So,
Okay.
apparently Donald Trump, his wife, Melania, was standing there holding the Abraham Lincoln Bible and then also
Yes.
his, like, personal Bible, and I've seen TikToks where
Mm,
he didn't get his hand on either, which I think is a statement of some sort, but I don't know what or why.
I don't know. I've not seen it. That would shock me.
Yeah.
Just because I'm 99.9% sure he did his first run, so why in the world wouldn't you do it the second run? My husband, like this is so funny because you mentioned what people are wearing. My husband's first comment to me about the inauguration was, "Did you see what Melania was wearing?"
That's what I was gonna talk about.
And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh," I was like, what do you mean?" And he said, "Oh, she was like the Terminator." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Her hat was down low and she was like," and I was like she didn't want to be there? And he said, "No, no, no, no. Like, you've went after my family. You've raided my house. I'm back to clean house." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay." No.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people, like, joke that it looks like Michael Jackson. She like,
Uh,
his look yeah, because it's black and white too. Yeah,
uh
but, like, it really was, like, her eyes were covered, and it was just, like, her nose and mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. Which made me, honestly, as a woman, my first thoughts, now this is just my opinion.
Mhm.
I wish I was her bestie. I was going to say, we're not besties. I would love to be her bestie. Could you even imagine? But, she would say I was gonna say something about, my first question would be, "What's your skincare routine?" But
Right.
my first thought as a woman with, covering your eyes was that she wanted to completely be able to have reactions to her
Yes.
husband being in office again without anybody trying to guess what that eye movement meant.
Right.
What did she, what her body language was every second of every day. That was
Yes.
my first thought.
Yeah.
And then I heard it was all windy and everything, and I thought, well, maybe I would definitely not be wearing a hat if it was windy because I'd be like, well, there it goes.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
know. Why do you think she made that choice?
Honestly, I think it's so that she could, like, not have to be performing from, what was it, 3 to 11 p.m.? That's
A
exhausting.
long time.
Yeah. It's just like Khloe Kardashian talks about, like, wearing her sunglasses, and she feels like it's
Mm,
like a security blanket for her. I think
mm,
it's just like an added, you don't have to, like, people aren't gonna, like, say, like, "Oh, well, look at how she looks, she gives this side eye here, and she didn't like this part of it," and it just takes off. I mean, like what we were just talking
yeah,
about with, like, Justin and Haley, speculation is from half of your face is now gone. It
yeah,
makes it easier, yeah. Even if you really didn't mean, like, to give somebody a side eye, but people are gonna talk about it, and it's gonna be in the media everywhere. Yeah.
well, have you seen the Elon Musk video of where the poor man, to me, looks like he was trying to stretch his neck? And everybody's like, "Oh, he's rebooting. Look." Or they were like, "Oh, look, he's dreaming about rockets." And I'm like, "This poor man was standing there for how many hours and
Yeah.
just trying to stretch his neck." That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, but because of, like, his status and who he is, it's gonna be, like, all kinds of crazy. Yeah.
Yes. And have you seen JD Vance's children, the video
No.
of them?
No.
They're wild little kids, and everybody's like, "I love it." I mean, the little boy is, like, trying to ruffle his dad's hair and his mom's hair, and, I mean, they're just being real humans,
Yeah.
and I just love it.
Yeah. I'm really excited specifically for, oh gosh, I always get his acronym wrong. Make America
Oh,
Healthy.
yeah, I do too. Is
Yes.
it RF?
I think it's RFK.
Let's not say it. I've already said it, but let's not repeat it. No, I am too. I
Yeah.
am very excited if we could only get at least the stuff banned in the United States that's banned in Europe, it would be
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. I mean, I think seed oils alone
Mm,
would eliminate 90% of the health. Okay, I'm being exaggerated, but it's a lot of health problems that would
yeah.
be improved so much. Yeah.
So I was, of course, because, selfish person at heart. So I love Fanta Zero.
Yeah.
Love it. It is so good to me. I had, made myself not drink them for a while because they are the worst thing for my teeth. You can imagine, like, staining
Oh,
my teeth. Like, they
I didn't.
dye my teeth. Yeah,
Wow.
it's wild. It's wild. Like, a significant difference, and I'm always like, "Daggone, I gotta go brush my teeth after a Fanta Zero." I don't know if regular Fantas are like that. I don't know. So the other day, I was like, you know, I wonder if when this ban of the red dye, whatever goes out, if Fanta will have to, like, I wonder if that's what stains my teeth. And Mark
Wow.
was like, maybe, and I said,
Yeah.
is he only going to ban that one dye or is he taking them one at a time? And Mark and I
Right.
were talking about that. I don't know. I'm like, why would you just pick one of the dyes? Why not
Yeah.
all of them? Well, I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
up on all of that. So we'll see.
Red. It was red dye 3, right? Not 40.
I don't know. I thought it was 40. Now I don't know. There's so
Well,
many of them. I have no
yeah, and
idea.
they changed the names too, so you never know which one is which.
Girl,
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what I found out
we
about
could,
Aldi's? Because okay, so Aldi's has banned all, and they're like Aldi brand products. There are no artificial colorings. I didn't know that till the other day.
no, and
Yeah.
you know what? I gave Aldi another try because you and my sister are like, Aldi's the best. And I'm like, I believe that the Aldi where you all live is the best, mine not so much. And when I say where I live, it's still 45 minutes away from me. But the other day, I was like, I'm going to try it again. And it was awesome. Like, they had all kinds of organic chicken. They didn't have organic beef, but you could tell it used to be there. They were just out right
Right.
then. And it was definitely worth the drive to go over there. So I'm excited. I'm excited about all the, and then also we do, for breakfast, we do that plain organic Greek yogurt. And they were like $1.50 cheaper than my
Yes.
local store.
Yeah. Yeah. Aldi's is goated when it comes to organic and budget friendly. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's great. So I'm a fan.
But we're fans of Aldi's.
We're fan.
Okay, this is another thing I had that I have heard a little bit about, but it's like going back to, I guess, like some older news. Like everyone
Okay.
was joking about, thanking Beyonce and Jay-Z, like running a bunch of stuff, that kind of thing. Like
Mm.
being able to determine like who succeeds and who doesn't, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Beyonce, if you're listening, thank you so much. But Wendy Williams, are you familiar with her?
Slightly.
Okay.
I did not watch her talk show. I meant to watch. I think there's a documentary out about like the rise and fall of her. I've just heard about
Yes.
it. So I'm a peripheral fan,
Gotcha.
I guess.
Gotcha. Well, I grew up watching it with my mom. So,
Really?
yes, lots of Wendy Williams was in the house.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you like it, or did your mom like it, or you just, you know what I mean? Like, were you just like, oh, here it is again, or were you majorly interested?
Yeah. As I got older, the more interested I was.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Because I started like recognizing some names, recognizing other, you
Mm,
know what I mean? She started talking about stuff that like
mhm.
my friends would also talk about. So at that point, I was
Okay.
interested in Wendy. But
Okay, so, like, compared to, like, sorry to interrupt, like, what was her show like? Was it more salacious? Was it more like Oprah? Was it more like Jerry Springer? Like, what was it
mm,
like?
her show was she would talk about like what's trending, pop news,
Mm.
hot gossip was like one of her segments.
Oh.
So she was like if TMZ was a TV show, really. But she would have like yeah. So sometimes she'd have guests on, sometimes she'd like ask them questions and like see how they'd react, that kind of thing.
Okay.
From what I gather, I think she's not like Ellen, where Ellen was like mean to people, but I think she's
Yeah, I
like a
didn't.
diva. You don't know about Ellen
Oh.
DeGeneres?
I just didn't watch Ellen. Yeah, I know Ellen, but I didn't watch her. You're like, "What?"
I
No.
was like, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's very much like a diva, but I don't think she was like mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she would talk about like the gossip, like what's trending, that stuff going on. Like she would talk about like Justin Bieber unfollowing his wife. That would be something she'd like
Okay.
talk about and that kind of thing. So very much like gossipy kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of like actual news, I guess. Yeah, that
Okay.
was like her main whatever. But she would talk about Jay-Z and Beyonce and how she didn't like them, didn't whatever, like couldn't stand them. Yes, and I forget the timeline, but something like 6 months later, 3 months later, in there, she's suddenly like ill. They're saying she has pre-Alzheimer's kind of issues,
Yeah.
and she's now in a guardianship.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I knew that, and I knew, that well, I think it was in the documentary or whatever, people were like, "It's so sad what has happened to her," because she does admit to alcoholism, correct?
Yes. 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 And I think she also has like agoraphobia, that kind of issue where you're like worried, can't go out of the house kind of thing. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But a lot of like media has like, what's the word? Made her look like, what is that? What is, portrayed her as like
Mhm.
being very decrepit, very whatever. And she's like come out with an interview and is like, I am not, I am like good. I am like trying to like get out of this guardianship that I've been put in. And this guardianship is the worst thing I've ever like this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. It's like jail. I can't
Yeah.
get out of like anything and I can't do the things that I want to do or that I used to do. And it was just
Uh-huh.
crazy to hear her talk about all that horrible stuff that's going on because she's like a full grown woman in this. And if I'm
Uh-huh.
mistaken, and this could have been just something that I saw and misunderstood or something that wasn't true, but Wells Fargo is like an owner in her guardianship. Yes. Yeah.
That
So
well,
that's just
I
weird.
literally was just going to ask you, who is her
Mhm.
guardian?
I
So,
don't know who her guardian is, but somehow Wells Fargo plays into that, which is odd. Yeah.
but you know what? I literally know so little about guardianships that, I mean, maybe it's not odd that, like, corporations are involved. I was if you'd said a big law firm, I'd been like, "Yeah, that happens all the time," and so I was trying to remember if, like, one of the subsidiaries or whatever of Wells Fargo has to do with legal team, and I just don't know. So are we gonna start seeing free Wendy shirts like we did with Free Britney?
I think so. I really do. I think
Mm.
that's like, uh, yeah, I think that's coming up. And I didn't realize all the crazy about Britney. Like, I didn't realize how awful that was and what's going on with her or what
Yeah.
what's going on there at all.
I know. It's all so confusing because we hear things that people want us to hear to get a certain agenda across. And so we're all like, oh, this poor girl and this, that, and the other. And it just gets confusing. It's like you've been sending me some stuff about Blake Lively,
Yes.
and I have been like, I'm too far behind, is the way I feel about it. It's so overwhelming. And I've heard other podcasters say the same thing, honestly, and they've been trying to keep up with it. But they're like, I wish we could fast forward 3 or 4 months of where
Yeah.
we knew everything that was going to come out, of where then we could kind of decide. But what do you think? I don't mean to jump off of Wendy if you've got more to
No.
say, but what do you think about all of that with
That
Blake?
okay. Let me give you a rundown
Okay,
summary of Blake Lively stuff because
please.
I remember a lot of it. And if I get my
Okay.
information wrong, I might be wrong. So just take it with a grain of salt. But
Yeah. Yeah.
way back when, okay, so they started doing this. I didn't know who Justin Baldoni was until like
Right.
this whole controversy, to be honest. And
Uh-huh.
I knew Blake Lively, but I didn't know she was in Gossip Girl.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
kind of knew who she was married to, that kind of thing.
Yes. Yes.
Got
Yeah. Okay. So in the beginning, in the beginning,
in the
they're
beginning.
filming this they're filming this movie. I think it's called It Ends With Us. And it's a movie that's about like surviving domestic abuse, domestic violence, that kind of thing. That's what the movie's about. Yeah. So they go on the press tour, and that's when all these issues start like happening, coming out. And everyone is like in these interviews and in her like press, she is instead promoting like her hair care, her hair tools, stuff like that, instead of like using her platform to talk about like domestic abuse, domestic violence, what this means
Mm,
for people in this situation, that kind of thing. So people feel like she was taking the marketing for her own agenda instead of like using it as a helpful thing. And I've not seen any of those videos where she's talking about that kind of stuff, but I just know this is
yeah.
like what was going on around on the media, like people talking about. And there was like a video that showed them outside of a coffee shop or something like that, Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. And they were
Mhm.
like arguing with each other. And it looked like a very heated, like, "Oh, something's going on" kind of thing.
Mhm.
So, but a lot of people during this time, and again, this was like maybe back in the summer. During this time, people were like, he's telling her off for not using the interviews for the right reasons. She's using like free marketing for her own stuff kind of thing. And that's like
Mhm.
what the consensus was. Well, then,
And so in all of his interviews, was he promoting, like, get help? Like, what he probably doesn't have hair care, you know what I
right.
mean?
Well, he's a very like long, luscious hair, I thought, like a man bun
Yeah.
type of situation. Yeah, because that plays
Okay.
into it later. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what he was doing with that. I don't know if he was like
Okay.
but a lot of people like have talked about like meeting him in person and how sweet he was and how how kind he was to them and how he stands up
Mhm.
for women's, rights and women's abuse and like
Yeah.
to be like a resource for that kind of thing. So people talk like really good stuff about him. Well, then fast forward to maybe like 2 months ago, Blake Lively comes out and was like, no, he like tried to sexually assault me. There was lots of like inappropriate, provocative behavior. And when I denied it, he turned like violent kind of thing. And then also, I don't know if you've seen this, but these leaked texts got out between Justin Baldoni and his like PR team that he had hired
Yeah.
who run a smear campaign against Blake. And I
I
was
have
like,
seen and heard some of those things, but again, I was like, was this the first thing? Was this the second thing? Was this the fifth thing? Because
yeah,
I'm behind.
I think that was the second thing, but that came out after I had heard and seen all of these bad stuff about Blake Lively. What would,
Mhm.
be the results of a smear campaign kind of thing. And it was
Yeah.
crazy because he sent like the two members of the team who were prominent in this text message group were women, and he had like they were like the way that they were talking about like what to specifically go after on Blake Lively was very, it's like disheartening to know that women were doing that to women. I mean, I guess it's
Yeah.
their job, but what an awful job. And it's
Yeah. Oh,
he had sent
unless you really thought that. Sorry to interrupt, but unless you, and I'm not saying they did, but unless you really know this about somebody, I think it does, man, you would definitely have to compartmentalize, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but they, in the text messages, he had sent a link to a Hailey Bieber Twitter thread where it was calling Hailey Bieber a mean girl and how she was acting like all this kind of stuff. And it was just like a compiled list of all the stuff that like people are like upset with Hailey Bieber about. And he was like, we need something like this. We need something like this to happen to Blake. Yes.
That's just so mean. Like, why would you go after people like that? Period. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, but I guess that's because of her accusations against him that he's like,
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
confused.
Well, okay, here's another part of it. Now
Uh-huh.
we're in like, I think we're going to move to stage 3 of this whole thing. And I think there's maybe a
Okay.
total of 5 stages right now.
Okay. Gotcha.
So stage 3 of this is it's come out that those were doctored text message images from Blake Lively, that they're like doctored screenshots.
Emily.
Yes.
What?
Yes. And I'm sure he hired a PR team. I'm sure he did. But the smear campaign and the depth that they went to in the text messages appear to be doctored. And now, yes. So not only, I'm not saying that everything of this is true, because who knows who's smearing who in this point, right? You know,
Right.
but at this point, we have, the story goes, from what I understand, Blake Lively is using free marketing to promote her own products and is now lying, allegedly, about the same stuff she was supposed to be an advocate for because of this movie.
My word. Emily, this is like you used the word a minute ago, disheartening. Right?
Yes,
And then with all the AI stuff, we don't know what's real anymore at all.
exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So now we're in the stage where they're both suing each other for different stuff. So, and I don't know what's true. It's horrible if she actually was, harmed or attempted to be harmed. And then now,
Yeah.
no one believes her, or the fact that she lied and wasn't harmed. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry Jethro's barking in the background.
That's okay. Jethro's a cutie. It's all good. I'm just afraid he's going to get Brutus going, which would be hilarious if they
I'm
started
gonna,
talking to each
yeah. I'll turn off my mic real quick.
other. Oh, okay. No, it's fine.
Yeah. Let's see
I'm
what I can
very
do. Maybe
excited.
I
Are
can
you
calm him
yelling
down a
at
little
it?
bit.
Don't yell at Jethro. Don't yell at Jethro. She's yelling at Jethro, y'all. Poor little guy. He's just trying to protect her. She's
If
sad.
I tell him good night, he'll stop barking. Like if I say good
Oh,
night,
because
Jethro.
you think he's fed.
Well, I don't know.
Normally, that's the way it works. It's not distracting, I promise. I was just like, oh, yeah, Jethro's barking. What else is she saying about Blake? Yeah. So it is going to be interesting then. Like, who knows? Because lawyers are involved. It
Yeah,
might be 3 years from now and nobody's paying any attention anymore. But it is
right.
interesting that neither one of them is backing down. That's what's so crazy about this.
Yeah. Well, I think Justin has lost roles and has lost signings and stuff like that because of what Blake has said. And
Mhm.
obviously, if Blake is telling the truth on this, that's horrible too. And like
Mhm.
she's dealt with a ton of emotional. And if it is true, and these were not just like these were like smear campaigns, her reputation is also tarnished.
Yes. Yes. I had heard I don't know, probably a couple of weeks ago, someone was talking about what a horrible thing it is in the industry if you just are simply known as someone that's hard to work with.
Yes.
Like people are just like, it doesn't matter how famous you are. Like if that starts getting around, there are hundreds of other people that can replace you. And just
Yep.
how important the wording is, kind of wink, wink. Yeah, they're hard to work with. And you're like, well, then I'm going to go this direction. And just, I don't know. Cause I think he said that she was hard to work with early on, is my understanding.
Yes. And I've seen where other people have said that, like her co-stars from Gossip Girl have said that. Like, we are not friends with Blake. We couldn't be. It's so hard to be in a room with her.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
my word, Emily, I'm not saying that she was or wasn't easy to work with. She was so young then. Can we not
Yes.
give each other grace for growth?
Yeah. How
You
many years has
know?
it been?
I don't
Yeah.
even know. I mean, it's wild to me, but yeah.
Yeah. So I hope that Blake is lying and that never happened to her because that's a horrible thing to
Oh,
go through. But I don't actually, it's horrible. It's horrible because now, yeah, it's hard enough for women to be believed,
I
and
know.
yeah, it's hard.
That is something like I could see her, as famous as she is, lying about something like he was really rude to me.
Hmm.
He made me uncomfortable. But to go further than that is, I don't know.
Yeah.
That makes me believe it more.
Yeah.
But yet, what has Ryan Reynolds stay out of it completely?
Well, actually, Justin Baldoni is now suing Ryan Reynolds and something with Sony because this is what I was going to tell you earlier of a
Mhm.
scene in the Deadpool 3 movie where it's like Nice Pool or whatever. Like they're making fun of this character who's very like a male feminist, like has a man bun. Like I am all for women, very an emasculating picture of
My
that kind of thing.
word.
And
So he thinks,
Justin Baldoni thinks that, oh, this character was based off of me. And which I think personally is a reach, but it's in the official, like, court documents suing, whatever that original, like, I'm suing you, here's the pages. It's in there and it's because Ryan Reynolds wrote that scene that he's
hmm
like, "Oh, this is a jab at me." I think that's a reach.
okay, let's say it is about him. Let's just say it is. Would you not be putting that all over your social media and going, look, this is hilarious? Like, wouldn't you kind of lean into the joke and
Yeah,
be like, look, I made it to Deadpool, whatever. Isn't this
yeah.
cool?
Well, get your name out there, Justin, because we don't know who you are.
I would be like, wow, Ryan Reynolds and I met one time and he made a whole character around me. How cool
Right.
is that?
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't be doing the guy, I'd be thanking him. But that's just,
Exactly.
I'm not
Yeah.
in Hollywood. I don't know how it works. So,
Yeah. And
yeah,
I do
I'm
think
sure I'm
that
listening.
I bet it's has to do with the fact that he didn't get like any royalties. You know what I mean? If you're gonna base this
Yeah.
character off of me, then I better get royalties from it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if we're talking marketing, then get in there. Like,
Yeah.
it just,
Exactly. But yeah, that and I forgot about that piece of the story. I remember I was gonna tell you from the man bun, but because Nice Pool has a man bun and it's got like that same kind of hairstyle. I
yeah.
don't know. The more I hear, the more that I think I just have a distrust for Justin. I do.
Mm. Got a
just
weird vibe.
I don't I don't have a reason. I've just seen, like, some people who have met him, and they're, like, taking their own videos of, like, meeting him. I think he's
Mm,
very aware when there's a camera versus when there's not, as I'm sure we all are, but
yeah. Yeah.
not to that extent. I don't know.
No, yeah.
Yeah. And first
Wow.
and foremost, we believe women when they, say that something has happened. Upon,
Okay. So,
I
hot take.
okay.
Okay. Yes, I believe women, but I also raised 2 sons.
Yeah.
And so I remember, man, I didn't know we were gonna go this route. Um, Someone accused a Supreme Court justice of something. I'm not talking about Clarence Thomas. I'm not going back that far, but in the last 10 years, I don't know. And it ended up that she was found out to be falsely accusing him.
Mm.
And I remember actually I was getting a flat tire fixed, and we were all like, there was a lot of people sitting around looking at the hearings because it just was on, like none of us
Yeah.
had control of that TV. It's just what was playing in the waiting room there. And I remember somebody saying, she just was believed automatically and all this kind of stuff. And I just remember being like, do I say anything? Do I not? But I went ahead and said, I always listen, but I also don't jump on any bandwagons until I know some facts, because I have 2 grown sons who I know that if in their workplace they had an accusation against them, true or false, they're automatically gone. And so there is, and I believe women, support women, am obviously a woman. And I get very upset at, like, the fact that I can't run on trails by myself and be safe. And, I get really upset at things like that. But I also get very upset at people who falsely accuse
Mhm.
because they know that, oh, okay, I'm going to be believed no matter what. And so that's dangerous for my 2 boys and my husband. And so it's very, very frustrating. So, and I hope I did not offend you by saying that, but
No,
I
no,
mean,
no,
it's
no, no.
so confusing. So confusing.
Yeah, because there are women who lie.
Yeah. And we're not saying Blake is lying. And I'm like you, like, I don't want her to be lying, but I also don't want her to have had to have gone through that.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So,
this is gonna be horrible to say, but
oh,
if she is lying, she has done so much more damage for everybody, because now the
yes.
girls who are telling the truth about their Hollywood directors, their Hollywood co-stars, are gonna have so much more like, well, is she just lying like Blake was? You know? So I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's
I don't
that's what makes me believe it to be true, honestly. And I don't know, like, I know what her co-stars have said, like, from Gossip Girl that you just told me. But I mean, is she kind of a girl's girl? Like, I don't know anything about her.
really know. But I think there is a difference between being hard to work with and being like kind of mean and just like, kind of like,
Mhm.
just hard to be around versus, being assaulted, like, and lying about that.
Ah,
Like, both could be true. She could be really mean and hard to be around
yes.
and also was assaulted. Yeah.
Yes. 110%. Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I don't really know, but I will keep you updated on that whole situation as it continues to
Let's
play out.
Please do. And now TikTok will be giving me all the videos.
Yes.
So how was your TikTok blackout? Did you survive?
Forgot. Hey, I forgot it happened. Let's talk about that.
Oh
15
my,
hours
that's hilarious. I don't
is
know.
just half a day, right? Like, we went to sleep and we woke up by like lunch the next morning and it's like, TikTok's back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. But did you see where the trend was going around that before TikTok went down, all of these influencers were like revealing like their secrets, and they're like, well, okay, Okay, so the sound that went with it was something like, "Since we're all about to die, there's one last thing I need to tell you." And then the sound says, "I never cared for The Godfather." But then during that part, that's when people would announce, like, their secret or whatever. One was a girl who would make coffees every single day, her Starbucks order or something like, "It's time for a new Starbies." That was her, like, tagline or
Mhm.
whatever. And she's like,
Mhm.
"I never drank any of my coffees because I hate coffee." So she, like, never drank any of the orders. There were a couple of fitness influencers who were like, "I never did any of the workouts," and would post
How
that.
were Did they look cute? Or, I mean, like, how were they actually fit?
Yeah, they were cute. They were just like, I mean, I guess just fine. I don't know. Or I don't know, but they didn't like they talked about like never doing their workouts or oh like this one girl was like who does hair routines or like does heatless curls. She was like, "It's not natural. I have extensions." Like that kind of stuff. Yeah, after saying like, "Oh, this is how to get your hair naturally healthy. This is how to get your hair naturally here," or stuff like that. Yeah. And there's
That's
this
diabolical.
yeah. I was like, no wonder like social media is like detrimental for people's mental health. They're not even doing it.
Okay, before I forget, I'm working on my neck. I've been working on my neck since you met me, right?
Your neck's
And
gorgeous.
so you're very, very kind. But so, I get products, they start working, and then I just stop using them for whatever reason. It's just my personality. But I will see the viral, I'm just going to say it because if you've set it into your phone, you get 5,000 different people that try to
Yeah.
get you to do like the Go Pure neck cream. And there's like amazing before and afters. And they almost get me. But what always holds me back is that this part of their neck goes smooth, but this part doesn't. And so I'm
Never.
like, is that a filter? It always
Well,
makes sense.
or AI editing, because that's a thing now too,
But why wouldn't you go all
all
the
the
way
way.
around?
Yeah. Well, it's like the people who talk about like the natural facelift creams and then they take off the tape that they've pulled up their face with, you know?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
girl. I would look great all the time if I did that
Tape.
tape. Woo, woo. Cute as can be.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that compilation in the description for this video because it's like all of these major somebody like put them all together, all these major influencers like not drinking the coffee, not doing the workouts, using extensions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you, why do you think they did it? Do you think they did it to actually get more followers afterwards because they didn't really think TikTok was going? Or do you think they really thought TikTok was going forever and we just, this is how I'm going to get to heaven is I'm going to confess that I didn't really do this. I mean, why would they do that?
I think it was such a trend and it went so viral in the last moments of TikTok that it was like bringing people to their page, watching their views. I think it was like a
Mhm.
Hail Mary, honestly, like a let's just, get something that's like sensational out there because now that TikTok is back, all of them are like posting like, "Well, no, this is what I actually meant. Like I would give the coffees to my mom. I didn't waste the coffee." Or I would like there's one girl who did like those crazy ice cubes and would like talk about like all these ice cubes that she'd make for the week. She's like, "I would no, I didn't waste them. I would do whatever." Or, "Well, I never said it was my natural hair. It's just like I only use extensions sometimes." That kind of thing.
Let me tell you, I would seriously unfollow them immediately and
Yeah.
never believe a thing that they said. I'm
Yes.
just being completely honest.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No, I don't yeah, it's not and it for me, it depends on what it is. If it's,
Mhm.
you're telling me how to take care of my hair, but you've got, like, major extensions in, I'm unfollowing. If
Same.
it's for me personally, like the girl who did the ice cubes, you didn't use your ice cubes, okay, whatever.
Yeah, same, and I was even thinking about the coffee, like, if I really had found some really good things from her, I'm still gonna follow just say, "Just admit it, girl, you gave this one to your girlfriend," or,
Yeah.
whatever. I have just become a coffee drinker in the last, 4 or 5 months, and I'm telling you, it hits different, like, the caffeine hits different in coffee in the best way possible.
Your body's just been without it for so long that it's like, "Ooh, what is this?"
Yeah, I'm like, I have been missing out, and I mean, I'm a huge caffeine girl, like, I'm all about caffeine itself, but I had never I loved the smell of coffee, but could never get into the taste. And then I was on this, and am on a low carb plan, and they put heavy cream in it, and that was a game changer for me. I was just like, I'm all about the heavy cream. So, yeah.
So do you make your
Side
coffees
note,
at home right now? Or do you go to somewhere to get your coffee?
no. Girl, I do not live in Knoxville.
You guys have a Dunkin'.
Yeah, we do have a Dunkin', but it is, you never know what you're gonna get, bless them. I mean,
Yeah.
they just
Yeah.
they don't have any competition, so they don't really have to work that hard.
Well, I think all Dunkins are like that. You just kinda get what Dunkin'
Really?
feels like they're gonna give you.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. I am going to try that blonde coffee that you put on TikTok, Instagram,
Yeah.
wherever you put that. I'm really interested in that from Starbucks. I think that sounds really cool. We do have a kiosk Starbucks at our local university, but I don't know. They say it's not the full menu, so I've never, and you have to get out of your car and walk
Yeah.
across campus.
Yeah. Well, if anyone has any at-home coffee recipes, please put them in the description and we'll try them.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And we really will. Yeah,
Yes.
we
Yes,
really
we
will.
will.
We will sit here and drink it. I thought you were going to say, I honestly did think you were going to say about the coffee girl that she would say she got these orders, but would always stick with the same thing. Like it was her favorite
Oh.
and she couldn't get away from it. And so she would post this or else get both, but always go back to her
Right, never drink.
original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even, just, keep the cup and make, a new one at home and then be like, "Oh, it's time for new Starbies," in your car. You know what I mean? That way you're not
Yeah.
actually spending the money for Starbucks every day.
Well, I mean, was Starbucks a sponsor? Like, why was she doing that? Just 'cause?
I think so. It was all these people who, their signature series had made them go viral, and then their series ended up being fake. Yeah.
That makes me so mad. I
Yeah.
mean, it does.
Yeah,
I mean, I have enough trust problems in my life.
exactly.
I do not need these viral people lying to me.
Yeah. Just tell us the truth.
Tell us the truth. It's more relatable. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, I think that's all we've got for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the chat line, where we're the
yes,
in-law duo you didn't know you needed. I'm
yes.
Emily,
I'm Missy.
and we'll see you next week.